Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about my week number 7 defenses to stream for fantasy football in 2021. Inside of today's video, I'm going to be going over 5 defenses that I believe you guys should be looking to pick up off the waiver wire right now based upon their matchups for week number 7. But before we get into things, I would like to ask, if you are new to the channel and you do end up enjoying today's video, to please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, whether you are new to the channel or not, please make sure to leave a like on today's video. I would also like to ask that if you guys are on Twitter and would like to follow me, to please do so at NotoriousFNTSY. So without further ado, let's get into my week number 7 defenses to stream. Of note, there are multiple defenses on bye this week. We have a bye for the Buffalo Bills, the Dallas Cowboys, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the LA Chargers, the Minnesota Vikings, as well as the Pittsburgh Steelers. So there are kind of slim pickings at the defenses to stream for the week, but don't worry, guys. I still have 5 defenses that I believe you guys should want to pick up on the week. We begin with the New England Patriots going up against the New York Jumbo Jets in New England. While the New England Patriots defense didn't look ultra stout up against the Dallas Cowboys offense, they had just 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery, and 29 points allowed. Going into that game, no one is going to expect the Patriots defense to completely shut down one of the best offenses in the NFL and the Dallas Cowboys. Regardless of how good the defense is, it's going to be very hard for them to shut down an offense with so many weapons like the Dallas Cowboys. They got Amari Cooper, they got CeeDee Lamb, they got Ezekiel Elliott, they got Tony Pollard, they have Dak Prescott, they have Dalton Schultz. They just have this loaded offense. So regardless on how good the defense is, it is going to be very hard for them to shut down the Dallas Cowboys. And I think the Patriots played quite well in that game defensively. So you should not be surprised at all when they go from this ultra tough matchup going up against the Dallas Cowboys to going up against as soft of a matchup as it gets, basically, in the Jumbo Jets, that things are going to go very, very well for the New England Patriots defense. Now, the Jets did not end up playing last week because they played in the London game in week 5, so they elected to take their bye week in week number 6. So the last time the Jets played in a game was up against the Atlanta Falcons, like I said, in London. The Falcons defense had 1 sack, 1 INT, and 20 points allowed. And the Falcons defense is not very good at all. So imagine what the Patriots defense is going to do. The Patriots defense that is head coached by Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick virtually locks down every single rookie quarterback that he's ever played against. So you should easily be able to expect the Patriots to stomp all over the Jets and expect the Patriots defense to have a great showing this week up against the Jumbo Jets. The second defense to be streaming of the week is the Carolina Panthers going up against the New York Football Giants in New York. Now, when it comes to the Carolina Panthers defense, they're one of those defenses that I feel as though are severely underrated. Last week up against the Minnesota Vikings, they had 1 fumble recovery, 1 touchdown, and 34 points allowed. Now, there's a big difference in opponents here, kind of like how we just talked about how there's a big difference between the Patriots going up against the Cowboys versus the Patriots going up against the Jets. There's a big difference between the Panthers going up against the Minnesota Vikings, who have a pretty solid offense, to the Panthers going up against the New York Football Giants. And that Giants offense looks completely and utterly limp dick. It appears that Kadarius Toney may be out for the long while. So without Kadarius Toney, without probably Saquon Barkley, I expect the Carolina Panthers defense to be all over the Giants offense. Last week, the Rams played up against the Giants. That defense had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 sacks in that game. They also had 3 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, and 11 points allowed. Now, I understand that the Rams defense is one of the best defensive units in the NFL, so I'm not going to tell you that the Carolina Panthers are going to get 4 sacks, 3 interceptions, only allow 11 points, and get a fumble recovery, but it's very likely that they're going to get a pick. Maybe 2 picks in this game. Make Daniel Jones fumble, because Daniel Jones is just prone to turning the fucking football over. So you better believe the Carolina Panthers defense is going to be able to completely and utterly shut down the Giants offense. I expect the Carolina Panthers to put up big numbers on defense this week. Next defense to discuss is the New Orleans Saints going up against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. The New Orleans Saints went up against the Washington football team in week number 5 last week. Just like with the Jets that we talked about earlier, earlier, they were on bye in week number 6. So the Saints game in week number 5 up against the Washington football team, the defense had 2 sacks, 2 INTs, and 22 points allowed up against Taylor Heineke and the Washington football team. I actually think that the Washington football team offense that looked bad up against the Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion, they're better than the Seattle Seahawks offense, because the Seattle Seahawks offense, when quarterbacked by Geno Smith, is a complete and utter fucking disgrace and is a complete and utter dumpster fire, and it should be no shock at all if the Saints completely shut down the Seattle Seahawks offense. Last week, the Pittsburgh Steelers went up against the Seattle Seahawks in that primetime game on Sunday Night Football. They had 5 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, and 20 points allowed. Now, there's a lot of chitter-chatter about how Cam Newton may mosey his way on into town and be the starting quarterback until Russell Wilson comes back for the Seattle Seahawks. But it doesn't matter at all. Whether it's Cam, whether it's Geno Smith, because Cam is coming, there's no way Cam would be the starting quarterback if he just got signed there and then magically played this week, right? That's impossible. But even with Geno Smith being the starting quarterback, there is just no way that that guy has a great game up against the New Orleans Saints. Now, the New Orleans Saints defense has been on a rocky road all season. They start the season off looking amazing. Then they look bad. Then they look great again. Then they look bad. And now we're sitting here in week number 7, and I still find it pretty hard to get a good read on the Saints defense. But at the end of the day, it doesn't take the 85 fucking Bears to stop Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. So I expect the New Orleans Saints defense to look very, very strong up against Seattle in week number 7. But before we get into the next defense to stream, I would like to let you guys know we have partnered with Yahoo Fantasy this NFL season to bring you guys some great offers, all of which you can find in the links in the description of today's video. First, we have an exclusive limited time offer which gets you guys 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. To qualify, you need to be new to Yahoo. Sign up for an account via the link in the description down below. Deposit and play. That is it. Yahoo will send us your name after you play in your first paid contest, and we will reach out to you via email with your coupon. If you would like immediate access because you want to play today, that's okay as well. Just email support@awesemo.com. Again, support@awesemo.com, and we'll get you set right up. Just to emphasize, this offer is for new Yahoo users only. You can also claim a free $10, which can be used to enter any Yahoo contest. Make sure to use our DFS tools and projections designed specifically for Yahoo to give you guys your best shot at winning big. Back on in to the defenses to stream. The 4th defense on today's list is the Green Bay Packers going up against the Washington football team. The Packers defense shut down Justin Fields, Bill Lazor, Matt Nagy, and that Chicago Bears offense last week, having 4 sacks, 1 INT, and 14 points allowed. Now, understandably, that was the Chicago Bears that they were playing up against, but last week, the Kansas City Chiefs defense that completely sucks. The Chiefs defense that has been getting pounded by other offenses looked like the 85 Bears up against the Washington football team. They had 1 interception, they had 1 fumble recovery, and they had just 13 points allowed. And this is going to be a Washington football team offense that may be without Antonio Gibson, or with a hobbled version of Antonio Gibson, who is on a kind of load management, a snap count management for the team. So you better believe that the Green Bay Packers defense is going to look very good up against a Washington football team offense that is just struggling at this point in the season. Final defense to add of the week is the Miami Dolphins going up against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I understand last week the Miami Dolphins defense was a humongous disappointment if you added them, but that's because they were without Xavier Howard, and that's because they were without Byron Jones, the 2 key pieces of the defense, the 2 key pieces of the secondary. The Dolphins defense, even without them, though, up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, while they disappointed, they weren't a complete and utter dumpster fire. They had 2 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, and 23 points allowed. Now, imagine what the Dolphins defense is going to do, likely with both of them back, going up against another offense that isn't all that great in the Atlanta Falcons. The Jets defense even looked good up against the Atlanta Falcons in week number 5 because, again, they had their bye in week number 6. They had 2 fumble recoveries and 27 points allowed in that game. 2 fumble recoveries. The Jets defense is atrocious. The Dolphins defense causes turnovers game in and game out. I expect the Miami Dolphins to kind of look much sharper this week up against the Atlanta Falcons. But then after this, if you have the Miami Dolphins defense, you're going to ride them 2 weeks in a row, you better believe you're cutting them next week because they go up against the Buffalo Bills after this game up against the Atlanta Falcons. And that is going to be no bueno, as they say in Espanol. So thank you guys all so much for watching today's video. If you did end up enjoying, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, make sure to leave a like on today's video. I love you guys guys all so much. Again, if you would like, you can follow me on Twitter as well, at NotoriousFNTSY. I hope you guys have a great rest of your guys' day, and as always, goodbye.